We're now watching the vote for the speakership.
Jeffries.
It is Jordan and Jeffries seem to be getting the most amount of votes. Do we know how many? Do we know how many are in the chamber? Is it 432? Did we determine that? Okay, so there are 220 Republicans.
Caston.
There are 212
Jeffries.
Democrats. One of the strategies that we've heard is that there's going to be an attempt to
Castro of Texas.
to vote present. Now, if you vote present, what you do is you drop the threshold. Right now, the threshold 232 divided by 2 is 432 divided by 2 is 216.
Cheerfulness McCormick.
That means that you need to get 217 to win. This is not like the motion to vacate. There's an actual election going on here.
Jeffries.
You
Cisco Martin.
need 217 to win.
Jordan.
Who voted others? I mean, they've already lost two then.
So Don Bacon of Nebraska voted for Kevin McCarthy. And
Okay,
Lori
so
Chavez DeRemer, who's a
He
freshman
can
from Oregon,
afford
voted for
now
McCarthy.
to lose
Cleaver.
only 3 votes,
Jeffries.
and he's lost 2
Klein.
in this round. Now, it's theoretically they could vote again, right? They could just keep voting.
I mean, it would be like January,
Right.
You know,
15 rounds of
it would
voting.
be like January. They're,
Right.
voting, they're voting to elect a
Right.
speaker. And Ken Buck missed his vote, so he has not voted yet.
Clyde.
Okay, but that
So he'll come back. So at the end, they'll call
Okay.
out missing votes. So he
Okay.
did not.
Did
vote.
he pull the
okay.
fire alarm?
now let's be clear. If they were to vote present, that would drop the threshold. They cannot drop the threshold below
Jordan.
213.
Collins.
Because if they drop the threshold below 213, Jeffries could become the speaker. Theoretically, Jeffries could become the speaker if the threshold was a little bit higher and there were 1 or 2 defections from Republicans to Jeffries. I doubt that would happen. I wouldn't be so sure if it was on the other foot.
Yeah.
If the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't doubt that would happen. And I've said that in the past, and people have been talking about it for 8 years, as far as I can tell.
Did something just happen? There was some rumbling, yeah. Did someone just vote for Jeffries that...
Craig. Jeffries.
We're going to follow this until this round, and then we'll head to
The fun half?
the fun half.
Crawford. Jordan. Crenshaw. Jordan. Crockett.
So Chavez, there's 2 against McCarthy, as you said. 2 against, or 2 for McCarthy, 2 meaning against Jordan. Chavez, Derimer, I don't even know who that representative is.
She's a freshman from Oregon.
Is she one of the 18?
Yes, she's in a Biden district in
Okay.
Oregon. Yeah.
Davids of Kansas.
So just keeping track of this alphabetically.
And Don Bacon is as well. Bacon in Nebraska is also in a Biden
So
district. as well.
that's 2 Biden district defections on the Republican side. Lori Chavez Derimer in Oregon.
Davis of
Don
Illinois.
Bacon in Nebraska, as you said, Bradley.
Jeffries.
Gus Barakis is not voted. Do we know how he...
Bill Rockus is a Jordan supporter. He's the
Dean
one
of Pennsylvania.
missing.
Bill Rockus is missing.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's not. He won't be in the chamber until tonight.
Ken Buck hasn't voted.
And he left.
We're
but-
waiting on Duarte in alphabetical order.
and
in
Diaz Balart, who's a anti-McCarthy. He's a McCarthy supporter. Diaz Balart from Florida.
Okay, Duarte in California
Delvine.
13 is next up on
Yep.
the alphabetical
Deluzio.
potential defections.
Jeffries. Desanye. Jeffries. Desjardins. Jordan. D'Esposito. Zelton.
What?
Zeldin. Well, that's it for Jordan is done now, right?
So Anthony, yes, he would need. So this is three separate votes. Bill Rockus is
Balart.
absent. So
Scalise.
and if Buck,
Oh, wait a second.
Scalise.
And yes,
Diaz-Balart.
Diaz-Balart voted. So this is it.
This is it.
Jordan's done.
Yep.
Jordan's
At
done in
least
this
on
round.
this round
so
of
the first round
voting,
of voting, yeah.
he is done. And so
Bingo.
let's take a break, and we'll head into the fun half, and we will be able to give you the final tallies. And then the question becomes,
Why Lee Zeldin?
I think D'Esposito, who's he's a New York freshman. I think maybe he might have been. I think he replaced Zeldin, so maybe he was like, my guy Zeldin. I don't know. It's like writing in your dad for president.
It's so stupid. It's exactly.
I was hoping that maybe I would get a vote. Now I have not actively campaigned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna talk out of turn. There's been some phone calls I've been making with some of my friends across the aisle in the Republican Party. And it turns out no votes for me. So, but Jim Jordan is at this point toast. We just had Jake Ellazey vote for who is that? That's for.
Did Elsie
voted not for Jordan?
Yeah, he's also he's a freshman from Texas. Jake.
Who did he vote for? Some other.
He voted for Mike Garcia, the California representative.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
we're just really
so that's
we're
just more to like that's like I'm voting for the Easter Bunny.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Right.
I don't know why Scalise, I guess, is still theoretically a candidate, and Kevin McCarthy is a candidate. The others that we just referred to as others, at least on the New York Times. And
if all the Democrats hold the line.
Now, let's just be clear. Jeffries can't win without Republican votes.
Right.
Because you need to hit the over 50% of present voters.
It's not a plurality, it's a majority.
It's not a plurality, it's a majority. Unless people vote present, in which case they're not counted as actually being present, which is a weird way of phrasing it. But if those 5 were to have voted present, then we're in the territory of like Jeffries could win.
But zero. It seems like they're not going to do that.
It seems like the reason why they're not doing that. I mean, because look, we know that Zeldin is not going to win. And so the reason why someone votes for Lee Zeldin is because they're afraid that if too many of us vote present and we're not coordinated on this, then Jeffries could win.
Right.
By mistake.
Right.
Geez, these Republicans have Jim Jordan in a headlock.
It's true. Jordan has been counted out and will come back in the next round.
See if he taps out.
And attempt to
pin down some more members.
Yes, and regain his footing. And incidentally,
wait,
folks,
Gates just stood up. Gates voted for Jordan. Yeah.
As a style guide, I just want folks to know that we will never refer to Jim Jordan again without using verbs that are also interchangeable for wrestling matches.
Yes.
So the this round is almost over. It's almost timed out. And Jordan will have another chance to put his hat in the ring.
The other Long Island guy voted for Zeldin.
The other
Andrew Garbarino from Long Island also voted for Lee Zeldin.
Is Zeldin still alive?
He's not even in Congress.
No, but I mean, maybe you don't have to be in Congress.
Yeah, it's true. It's the Trump speakership argument.
Jimenez just voted for Kevin McCarthy.
Yes, so, Jimenez is a real ardent McCarthy.
I mean, and this is relevant at this point is only because it gives us a sense of Jordan's opportunity in round 2. And I guess there's also a question is like, how much patience is there going to be for 15 rounds of voting? And it could be one of those things. And Tony Gonzalez just voted for Scalise. So we're up to 8 other votes. This is relevant because the likelihood of Jordan winning in round 2 diminishes with the greater number of people it is that switch. Now, with that said, we don't know. They just had the camera on Jim Jordan, and now he may know like these guys they get the first round where they vote who they want to, but like. I mean, honestly, you're voting for Lee Zeldin in the first. Like, what are you signaling to anybody? What are you signaling to anybody?
And if some reports are right here, Eric Michael Garcia over at the Independent, Kay Granger, who is the Appropriations Committee chair, like she's like you wouldn't really expect her to go out of line with whatever the conference is doing.
Right.
She just voted for Scalise. Like that's a defection I don't think anyone was really anticipating or like would think would happen. A committee chair.
Maybe she was one of the Scalise strongholds who reportedly, quote, according to the New York Times, wept openly when he took his name out of the conversation in their private meetings. But these people are weird.
Majority Report wardrobe coordinator says Diaz Ballard with the takedown 2 points. I have to remember that from my junior high wrestling days.
I'm running up. I went to an all-girls school. I don't really have a ton of high school wrestling in my lexicon.
I just remember there was this kid who I was friendly with, was a couple years older than me, and he would just always come on and like at the beginning of practice, he always like, I want to try out my figure 4. And then would just like, it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. And I couldn't say no because it was like, you know, you got an upperclassman, like, you know, you're like, oh, okay.
Tap out, Sam.
And you
That's why I
pretend
gravitated
like you're
towards
not-
basketball.
That's why you had to just pretend like you weren't in pain.
Little less pain, little less
All right.
homoeroticism.
So look, we see 9 votes. You know, there's no way for us to know if these 9 had said, have already said to Jordan, I'll vote for you in round 2. But if they don't vote for him in round 2, I think that he's not getting it.
Which is interesting because mostly, most of the reporting heading into this day was very optimistic about Jordan's chances.
Again, like I think it's very possible that there could be a second round vote. Like I'm not, I don't know if I understand fully what that's about. Like, what's the value for someone who's reluctant? If you're a frontline Democrat and you're Republican, and you're reluctant to vote for Jim Jordan, I don't know that there's much value to you to go back to your constituents and say, yeah, but I only voted for him on the 3rd ballot. Right. Like, I just don't know that really is.
Yeah, but what else are they going to do?
Well,
they're literally between a rock and a hard place. If they don't vote for Jordan, they're going to get primaried, right, by the Republicans. That seems to be the threat. If they do vote for him, they're going to get screwed in their Biden districts. So they're trying to put lipstick on a pig here.
But not everyone is following the same rules because, like, Brian Fitzpatrick, who was a Republican from Pennsylvania, is in like the most like Biden district, and he voted for Jordan right now.
Well,
I guess I just don't understand the
they're all making
everyone's
different
calculating
calculations.
differently. It's not a block formation so far.
Well, they may also be aware of like just how do I have because all of these all of these people we're talking about, they have a list of 4 or 5 people that they are afraid is going to run against them. The county supervisor might run against me who's a Republican,
has a reason.
or the comptroller, or that the car salesman who's going to self-finance himself. That's what's going on. In terms of their.
Jeffries just voted for himself.
Jeffrey just voted for himself. Applauded.
Oh my God! All right, enough.
But you know what? They're doing this because
They're trolling.
They're trolling. This is.
We should put this up.
It's pretty funny.
No, it's over. All right. Well, they just gave
Half of them
Jeffries
are still
a
laughing.
standing
You can see them all laugh.
Yeah.
Jeffries.
Oh.
Yeah, let's just hear it. Let's do this out. We've got. Well, I guess there's another 100 votes, right?
Yeah, it's not worth it. He's not getting this round, so let's just go into the
we're
fun
going to go
half.
into the fun half, ladies and gentlemen. You can join us there by becoming a member at jointhemajorityreport.com. And when you do, you not only get the free half free of commercials, but you also get the fun half. And now the Republicans are giving a standing ovation for Jim Jordan for voting for himself. This is like one of those things like where you, it's honestly like, and you learn this by the time you get to your second kid, like, and the kid takes a poop, you don't have to applaud. It's okay. It's probably better that you don't.
Yeah.
but they're voting for themselves. They're doing that in earnest. At least the Democrats did it ironically.
Right.
We're catching up on the tail end of the vote. Jim Jordan, let's pop this up, has lost 13 votes. There have been 13 defections
Massey.
from his attempt.
Jordan.
This is,
Mast.
and how many did
Jordan.
McCarthy lose in that
Matsui.
first round?
Jeffries.
I
don't think it was this way.
Jeffries.
don't
McCarthy.
think we're in a situation. It feels like we are not in a situation where
McCall. Jordan.
Jim Jordan is going to be able to get a second round of voting here. And the reason why I look at that is like
McClellan.
the frontline New York.
McClintock.
This is not like, I hate that guy, he's a jerk, but okay on the second ballot. This looks like there's enough of these New York Congress people who are Republicans. How many do we have now? 4, right? Lawler,
McCormick.
Lawler, D'Esposito,
Jordan.
Lalota, and
McGarvey.
I'll double check if there's one more, but 3 for sure.
Jeffries.
and
McGovern.
they're voting this way because they're afraid to vote for Jim Jordan.
McHenry.
And so it is unlikely this is going to change in round 2. Presumably, they've already gone to these people and said, look, if you don't vote for Jordan, if anybody has the ability to do this, if you don't vote for Jordan, I'm not going to support you.
So on the first ballot, McCarthy still got over 200, 203.
Fume.
Okay.
Jeffries.
So it's possible that he still may.
Miller.
Here's Molinaro. Is about to vote. We'll see how Molinaro. He votes for Jim Jordan,
Miller of Ohio.
which is interesting. New York 19th.
Jordan.
He announced he would.
He announced he
Miller
would,
West-
but I mean, as you start to see the rest of your New York caucus not vote for him, now maybe he feels secure in not voting
Mills.
in voting for Jordan because he knows Jordan's not going to make it through, so he'll never have to account for that vote theoretically. It's one thing to say you voted for Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan's been this disaster for the past year, and now he's House Speaker. Versus you voted for Jim Jordan,
Right.
even though McHenry has been the ongoing. And I have a feeling that's what they're going to end up doing. I think they're going to end up voting
Jordan.
to provide McHenry
More
with
Wisconsin.
a sort of a 15-day renewable option
Moran.
on being Speaker of the House with limited powers or something.
Morell.
But again,
Jeffries.
we could get into the next round.
Moskowitz.
We will check back in to see, when the bell rings and who's standing at the end of this
Right.
in the ring, and then when they get if they're going to get back into this ring and wrestle around and see who's going to be the Speaker of the House, or maybe they send Jim Jordan to the showers, and we don't know. Maybe they'll have to bring in the medical team to examine Jim Jordan
Maybe.
after this
Maybe.
in the showers.
I want to make more jokes, but don't know if I should. So
Maybe, yeah, we should
maybe we should just cease.
bow out.
Yeah. Maybe tap
Just
out.
Tap out. This one. Blow the whistle. Throw the towel and step out of the ring for a moment for that. Can't help it.